G'day gamers, Ranger Tony here, back with more Elder Scrolls for Oblivion with our Bosmer Arcane Archer Osprey. Getting used to saying that now, and it's just when I'm getting used to saying it that we are getting to the end of this. It's not going to be tonight, I don't think, but we are not far off. Only a few more episodes, I would think. 2 to 3 would be enough, I assume. Let's continue from whence we last left off. We are doing all of the missions to get all of the various cities on side, so that we can get all the allies that we need to help Bruma, who is going to be under attack. Looks pretty good, that character set up right there. Let's go. G'day, Saint Salvius. How you doing? I'm doing good, thank you. So, let's have a look. Which cities have we yet to do? I don't think we've done Coral. I was going to leave that till last. We did Kvatch and Skingrad. We haven't done Breville or Leowin yet. We did go to the Imperial City and they told us to jog on. Oh, and we haven't done Shadenhall yet. I thought we had done more than this. Okay. Let's come all the way down, unless we've actually got a current mission. No. Let's head let's head all the way down to Leowin, because that seems to make sense. So let's head to Leowin Castle. Oh, well, I hope you have a good day, St. Salvius, when you're at work. Yeah, better than... I hope things are going better than my work is at the moment. My work is absolute garbage. And not happy at all. So, it is 8 a.m.
Are you the Count?
No.
Then go away.
Right.
Yes.
So, another group of slugger beds that sit around until 3, sleep in bed until 3 in the afternoon. Is that the way this is going to be? No, we don't have any flooding where we are here. We have had heavier rains than normal,
by grace of the Nine.
but the flooding's, several hundred kilometers away down south.
Perhaps you would like to do a service for County Leowin. Leowin is beset by enemies. The Empire does nothing to help us. Even before this crisis, I did not have enough men to patrol my borders. Now, Daedra are pouring out of an Oblivion gate on our very doorstep. No, I don't have any men to spare. Bruma will have to look to its own defense.
Okay, so that... Okay, so he does want me to close the gate and try again. Okay, that was a little unclear, because it sounded like he was just saying, nope, not going to happen, go away. A bit like the Imperial councillors did. So, let's have a look-see. It's just... Oh, is that an exit over there? It is. Very good. And is that... No. Okay, I'm seeing this here and going, okay, I'll just go over here and do this Oblivion gate. Wrong. That is not the Oblivion gate that needs to be done. In fact, I'm not even sure that one there is the one that needs to be done. I did this with Skingrad. I went, oh, okay, I'll go. I saw that Oblivion gate, went straight to it, did it, came out, went back to the count, nothing. Oh, because I had to do that one. So let's make sure we do the right one, and the right one only. Ooh. There we go. All good. We'll take all of that. I am using the elven arrows, aren't I? I got rid of everything else. Yeah, and I've just got 700 elven arrows. Beautiful. Nothing on the horse. That's a watchman. Fishing waders, Leowen shield, Leowen cuirass, and a few gold, and a steel mace. Way! Oh, God. Damn it. Did that get it? It did. Okay. Bozione. Healing, and just do that. And we're all good. That's all of the bad guys. Until we get inside the gate, of course. We shall quick save. G'day, Walter, the weatherman. Doing good, thank you. But you can keep your weather, thanks, because we've got more than enough of it here. I mean, I'm just saying to St. Salvius there that I am not experiencing the flooding here myself, but Australia does have a fair bit of flooding at the moment, so... Right. Let's... Not enough magicka. Come on, get up. Not enough magicka again. There we go. Oh, and then there's another one. And that annoying little brat that was attacking me was not your annoying little brat. Well, it wasn't the other guy's annoying little brat, is what I meant. It was yours. Okay, we need some healing. We need a lot of charge. There we go. Can I rest here? Thank. Do I plan on... Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to brag, but my professional life is such that I am making a very good income. I'll just say 6 figures and leave it at that. I'm not going to say exactly how much. And I'm finding myself lately saving a lot of money. So the fact of the matter is, streaming and, you know, videos and streaming, I don't think is ever going to be able to make as much money as my professional career. If I could... Oh, God damn it, I hate these things. Come on, get up. It's going to take a while, put it that way, to get to the point where I can live on my earnings. If I can find a way to do it, I would be happy enough to do it. I almost feel like I would have to diversify a little bit. I just don't think that... I don't think a gaming YouTube channel and gaming Twitch channel is really enough these days by itself that I could say, well, I could live off this. I have mentioned my career a lot on stream, so I am what's called a DevOps engineer, which doesn't mean a lot to people, but it's to do with automating the construction and management of large computer systems. And I have thought about making a YouTube channel about that. And I feel like that might be, no guarantee, but that might be something that would be easier for me to make a living from. Damn it all. It's almost impossible to sneak up on those pains in the butt as well. But you don't have any little stragglers right now, so if I get in here and zap you nice and quick, I'm fairly safe. So yeah, if I was just saying to St. Salvius actually that things are not going all that well at the moment at my current job. I am not entirely happy. I don't feel like I am being used at my potential as a DevOps engineer. In fact, I am basically just a support engineer at the moment. And I mean, if they want to pay me as a DevOps engineer to do support work, I can't complain about that. But the support work sucks. And I am considering my options. Now, one of those options, which I am considering, is I have saved a little bit of money that I could potentially take, like, I don't know, 6 months off and devote myself full-time and effort to my YouTube and streaming. G'day, BM. I'm doing good. How are you? So if I was to devote myself full-time to my YouTube and streaming careers, I would be looking at where I've got to go down. Okay, that's different. I would be looking at creating potentially a YouTube channel to do with my career as well as my gaming stuff. Not entirely sure if I'm going to do this, though. This is all, you know, complete speculation. Right now, more than anything, I'm really just looking for... Oh, that wasn't good, and I haven't saved in ages. Yeah, at the moment I'm looking more for another job, more than anything. When is that from? 6 minutes ago. That might not be too bad. But yes, if I could, I would definitely like to make... bloody things. I would definitely like to make this a career. But my professional career actually makes me a pretty significant amount already. Oh, come on. How did that miss? No, you don't. Come on. Does anybody else hate these spider Daedra as much as me? Or is it just me that thinks that these are ridiculous? Like, seriously. Hello there. Oh, not enough magicka. Can I rest? Thank God for that. And let's remember to save. Hydrate. Yep, okay. Hang on a sec. Let's... I need to get up that... do I have that up? No, I don't. Can I mark that as completed? Oh, there's the reward queue. That's what I was looking for. Right. Get that over there. And we're done. Very good. Okay. Did I have to go to school? Yes. Well... Yes, sort of. I did go... my education career is long ago. I did do a little bit of university and a little bit of community college, I guess you call it, before I got my first job in IT. I definitely feel like, yes, I do have an IT education, even though I never finished an IT degree, and a lot of the stuff that I've got I have learnt on the job over the years, but it is something that, yes, you do require some education for this job. Yeah, I see that you saw the video, BM. I saw your comment. I hope it was helpful. I'm going to hide back down here and hopefully heal myself up a little bit. I don't suppose... No, I can't rest. That would be good, being able to rest. And let's use one of those so that we're all back to full. missed. I can't get around that side either. Oh, those little bastards and their stuns, or whatever it is. Okay, now it's time to kill you. Right, so let's repair up as well, because, yeah, most of my gear was pretty badly done. Well, thank you for that, BM. That is sort of why I do it, because I know that I do seem to have a bit of a talent for explaining things to people. And it's strange, you know. I know any number of people that are, you know, don't like public speaking. I don't have a problem with it at all. I'm not sure I'm great at it, but I do not have a problem getting up in front of people and talking. And probably fairly strange though, because I do consider myself a bit of an introvert, but I'll get in front of people and talk any day of the week. As shown by the fact that I'm here. Is this going to be the way that I have to go? Dodging. I'm pretty sure this is the way I'm supposed to go, but of course we're now going to get attacked by this brute, and I've got to get away from that tower somehow, and then I'm going to duck into this one, which may not be a good idea because there's probably just as likely to be a bunch of these guys in here, and frankly I was just about to say I don't know if they can follow me in or not. Okay, let's get that back to full. Let's get a bit more health. Really? I went through all of that, an entire lot of magicka, and didn't kill you. Actually, I was the opposite as a kid. I was not shy at all. And I don't know that it's necessarily shyness anymore either. I don't know what it is. But I've just never had problems talking in front of people. That's just never been an issue for me. What am I doing? Just, I can't wait when there are enemies nearby. I don't see any enemies. What? Define enemy for me. Okay. Fine, be like that. I will just spam heal. And I'm on it, Walther. Quick save. Done. So let's mark that off. Let's get some magicka back. This is not going to be into the main tower, but I'm going to have to go up a level or two and then go over on that bridge, I think, to get up to the main tower. Oh, that's a chest down there. I don't care what's in that. I'm just going up. Is this where I want to go? no, I want to keep going up. Oh, maybe I want to go down. Maybe I do want to go down. Maybe it's down that opens the gate. Let's see. Well, we can always go up. We have to come back down anyway. No baddies. Gate control. We're all good. What does the name generator do? I think I'm thinking, if it's what I'm thinking, it's allowing you to suggest names for NPCs, which is really, it's not all that useful here because there's not really NPCs and I'm not creating a lot of characters. So I feel like it's probably, oh god, no, I want to kill you first. Let me get up, get up, get up. Beautiful. Okay. I definitely wanted to kill her before heading into that tower, because otherwise, I bet you I can't rest here either. It's probably because of those towers over there. Yeah, if I ran in here and then I fight a bunch of guys in here, and she runs in after them, that's not going to be any fun. I don't really have any new gear. At the end of the last episode, I didn't stream last night, but at the end of the last episode, I went and used some of the stones that I've been picking up from these gates to put effects. So I've put frost damage on my bow, and I put Fortify Magicka on my greaves. And I think that was pretty well all I did. I really don't know if there's anything I can do about those towers. There was one right there. Can I even shoot them and do any damage to them? No. So that's pointless. Okay, I think that's going to be good enough for heals. Oh, that was a question. Okay, ask me anything. Any new gear lately? So, Walter, you're suggesting that I create a character called Tony or Ranger Tony, are you? Is the blue arrow thing a mod? Yes, it is. So there should be a list of all of the mods down below in the About section. All of the mods and the build of this character. So it's a Arcane Archer mod where you go off and you do an adventure in a dungeon and you get this arcane stone, which allows you to switch between some different archery modes. It's not that great. The arcane shot is good, and I use that all the time. Rapid shot, nah, it just uses your normal arrows, and it only seems to speed things up by about 50%. It's not all that fast. Mundane shots is if you just want to go back to normal. I never have it on either of these two. In fact, I pretty well keep it on instant shot for arcane shot all the time. Arcane shot, at the moment, at my current level, is adding about 20 points of arcane damage per shot. You can do Arcane Charge, where as you hold the bow at full draw, it charges up how much damage you're going to do. And then you've got this electrogravitic shot, which does shock damage and levitates the opponent, which is really good for opponents that try and charge at you, but it's not so good with any opponent that has magic or can shoot bows at you or whatever, because they can still do that while they're in the air. And they don't stay there for that long. It's only a couple of seconds, but it's usually enough that if you are using the electrogravitic shot and you're accurate enough, you can actually just keep applying it to them and keep them in the air. But I tend not to use this one either. There is a couple of other things that you can do. There's an auto-aiming feature, and there's a quick arrow recovery, both of which I've got turned off because I don't like the idea of auto-aiming. But I think the auto-aiming is sort of supposed to make it like a magic missile type of thing, so that your shots miss a lot less, and I felt that was just a little too... I haven't actually even tried the that feature, really, but I just felt it was a little too OP. I mean, I'm finding this is a good feature, and you'll see up in the top left corner of the screen there, that little blue sphere denotes what type of damage my arrows are going to do. So yeah, it's a nice little mod, and I've found something even better that I'm going to use on my next Skyrim playthrough. So I'm looking forward to that. And so you can see there, that did a sneak attack, but it also did 27 extra points of arcane damage. I do feel that in both games, Skyrim and Oblivion, that the only way... Oh, look at that bastard right there. The only way to actually be a viable archer is as some sort of arcane archer, because you just don't do enough damage. You know, the bow is a much slower weapon than anything else, whether it's magic or whether it's yay, level 19. So the bow is a much slower weapon, and I just don't think the games really take that into account properly. I will pick up those arrows. I don't super need to, because the bashed patch mod that I've currently got on is setting up my... it's got the arrows set to not weigh anything, which is a huge advantage. Okay, let's heal up as much as we can. A vanilla run, so you mean absolutely no mods whatsoever? If so, probably not. I'm not going to say definitely no, but I have no plans to do a vanilla run, a completely modless run. I'm actually thinking I still want to do the Civil War quest lines. Now, I started a Civil War Imperial quest line in between these playthroughs of Oblivion, because I was playing Oblivion as a spell sword type of character without any leveling mods, and got to a point where it was ridiculously hard for me to progress at all. And so I got frustrated and chucked it away and started a Skyrim. I started a playthrough as basically an orc spell sword, doing the Imperial quest line. And then I got the idea for doing this and decided I'd use the Realistic Leveling mod, and it's been going good. I do want to go back to those, but I'm thinking that the next playthrough that I'm going to do in Skyrim is probably going to be an Arcane Archer playthrough. I have a much better mod there that gives you all of the different... so you can get arcane arrows, you can get fire arrows, frost arrows, shock arrows, and sun arrows. And then there are these different sigils that you can use to upgrade those arrows with different abilities. So the fire ones explode. I don't know what the shock ones do. I think they push them away as well as do damage. The frost ones, I think, paralyze them. and then the sun ones do a detonation, much like Meridia's Dawnbreaker does. And I've been doing a little bit of offline play of that, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm thinking of doing a Nord playthrough where I play as the Imperial, the Stormcloaks, doing that playthrough first, and then I'll either come back and do the other playthrough, finish off the other one, or start it again as the Orc, or I might even do the Arcane Archer on the other side as well. Because I really love archery and I love that playthrough style, but you cannot be competitive. Like even here, you're seeing that I don't use arrows against these Spider Daedra because it's impossible. I go through so many arrows trying to kill these things because these things dodge so well, and then you're getting attacked by the little things all the time. You end up wasting all your arrows killing the little ones, the spiderlings, and you seem like you're never even hitting these guys. So the best way to take out these guys is to get in close and take them down as quickly as possible. And with this character that I've got, the only way to do that is with touch-based spells, because I have no ability at all on this character with ranged. Now, what I'm thinking, though, for my Arcane Archer playthrough in Skyrim, I'm sort of thinking that I would like to... Oh, God, this is going to be a complete cluster. I would like to do the playthrough without using... damn it, she summoned before I could get up to it. If you can get up to this one quickly enough before it can summon, you don't have to worry about getting knocked down all the time. Let's get a bit more of that in your face. Oh, come on. I just go through so much magicka with that spell. Yes, as I was saying, I really want to do... I want to try doing the Arcane Archer playthrough, but without sneaking. Like, sure, sneak damage can account for a hell of a lot of damage, and as an Arcane Archer, I feel like it would be almost OP to use sneak damage as well as the regular damage. So I don't know what to do, because there's a part of me that says I want to do the playthrough without it, but then there's another part of me that says, well, for once you might actually be doing sort of useful amounts of damage if you do sneak damage with the Arcane Archer in Skyrim. So yeah, I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do it. In the little bits of playthrough that I've done testing this Arcane Archer character, it looks like it can go well without sneaking, but I know at higher levels that might be different. Greedfall. I don't know that I've heard of Greedfall. Is it what sort of game is it? See, the other thing is that I am considering looking at... Was that more spiders I was seeing over there? I am sort of keeping an eye on other games I can play as well, so that I'm not just playing Skyrim all the time, despite the fact that it is, you know, a good game. And so one of the other, or there's a bunch of other games that are sort of similar to this that I'm looking at. I'm looking at the Dragon Age games. I'm also considering... Ooh, you sneaky little bugger. And then we'll put that arrow into you as well. Yeah, so I'm considering the Dragon Age games, although, as I've stated before, I do have some concerns about whether I will actually like those games or not, due to the fact that at least one of those games has a mechanic that is very similar to Pathfinder Kingmaker, in which you have to take control of, you know, companions and send them off on missions and all of that sort of stuff, which I have identified in the past I didn't really like. So I have concerns that maybe there'll be some stuff in some of the Dragon Age stuff that I won't necessarily enjoy. And here's the thing. For the first time in a long time, I mean, I haven't finished Oblivion yet, but I'm very close to it. I've finished Skyrim multiple times now. It is pretty rare to have me actually finish games. So I take that as a mark of a good game that can keep me motivated and playing all the way to the end. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out for Greedfall then, if I can remember it. Yeah, the other thing I was thinking of is... What is that? That's nothing interesting. Send me a direct message, Walter, just with Greedfall in it, so that I can actually remember it, because, you know, come an hour from now, or 2 hours from now, or tomorrow, or whenever I would next normally get a chance to have a look at Steam and see what's available, I will forget the name of that game, much like people suggest mods to me, and it's like, yep, you suggested a mod to me, but am I going to be able to find that? Even going back over the video of the stream of a 3 or 4 hour video trying to find one point in time when someone mentioned something, next to impossible. So I don't mind if people send me direct messages with ideas for games, because otherwise I would have trouble remembering what was suggested. But I will consider it, have a look. The other one that I'm thinking, and this is really strange, it's another old game. In fact, I think it sort of actually falls a little bit between Oblivion and Skyrim as far as age goes. But, okay, so before I talk about that, I am just going to double check that over the rest of this here, there isn't any spiders waiting for me. And the reason I'm doing this is because if there is, there's not good. But if there is, and I go through this door and it comes up behind me while I'm fighting, that's going to be a very bad day. Yeah, so the other game that I'm considering that falls sort of time-wise, as in when it was released, I think it's in between Oblivion and Skyrim, is, or maybe not, maybe it's earlier than both of them, Divinity 2. So Divinity 2 is available on Steam. I think that was still made by Larian Studios, but it was, a first-person RPG like this, rather than the Divinity Original Sin party-based RPGs. Now, I absolutely loathe the Larian Studios party-based RPGs, because they are just, we are out to screw you as hard as we can, and we make no bones about it. You are going to, we're going to try and kill you every which way we can, and we're going to be an absolute bastard about it. That's my opinion of what Larian Studios did with Divinity, at least Divinity 1 and Baldur's Gate 3. And quite frankly, I'm not even, at this point in time, I'm not even willing to start a playthrough of Divinity Original Sin 2 because I feel like it would be exactly the same thing and I would hate it. Did that actually kill him? Let's put... Oh, actually, let's just wait till we get a full draw and then put an arrow into him. Yes, it definitely killed him because he hasn't done anything since. And there's another guy coming just... Oh, where are you going? So yeah, I'm considering trying Divinity 2, which was, as I said, the precursors to the Divinity Original Sin games, just to see if I liked it. But again, it's a bit of a gamble because I know what my opinion of the other Larian Studios games is, and I feel like there's a good chance I'm going to hate it. So I don't know about that one, whether I'm going to go ahead with that or not. Well, I can't see Divinity 1 anywhere available, but Divinity 2 is available. So I'm only really sort of comparing whether I'm going to like Divinity 2 compared to the Divinity Original Sin 1 and Baldur's Gate 3, the other Larian Studios titles that I have played in the past. You just summoned a Storm Atronach. You bastard. Thankfully, killing you gets rid of that Storm Atronach. So that's some of the stuff that I've got on my wish list. Now, technically, it's not even... we need to compare that with what we're currently wearing because this looks very interesting. Let's just quickly do that. No, so technically I've bought... The Witcher 3. Alright, so I own The Witcher 3. I just don't think I want to play it on stream for two reasons. One, I've said this before, but is there any more baddies around? Well, I haven't said, well, I probably have said, are there any more baddies around, but I haven't meant it about that. So, yes, good. Here's where we're going. So, I've said before about Witcher 3 that I find the combat... Yeah, St. Salvius, there was a Divinity and a Divinity 2, and then they released Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2. Alright, so when I'm talking Divinity 2, I'm talking... Yes. And like, it was released in like 2010 or something. I'm not even sure if that's correct. It might have even been later than that. But yeah, so I have The Witcher 3. I find the combat in Witcher 3 not necessarily like ridiculously hard, but it is very fast paced and it's very fluid. You and your opponents really, or your opponents tend to circle around you a lot. And so it is something that I'm not used to. And I know that until I play it a lot, I'm going to do a very poor showing when I play that game. I feel like I would end up dying a lot or playing it on a ridiculously low level just to get anywhere with it. But the other reason I don't want to play it on my channel is the adults-only rating of the game more than anything. So I'm not deliberately doing anything to make my channel like PG rated or anything like that. But I really just don't want to have videos with, you know, naked Witcher butts walking across the screen and all this sort of stuff on my YouTube channel. It just complicates things to do that. Now, I could play them on Twitch and not upload them to YouTube, but I like having steady uploads on my YouTube channel. So, not sure what's going to happen there, but I'm really thinking at the moment that I'm probably not going to play Witcher 3 on stream. I do have Witcher 2 in my wish list, but I have no idea. I really know nothing about Witcher 2 as a game, so I don't know how good it is. I don't know if it is also very much adults only. I really have no clue about that. So I'm probably not going to make a decision about the Witcher series anytime soon as the other thing to play. I think there's a couple of other things I've got on my list, but
I won't keep you.
Yeah, I think at the moment it's more just I've got a couple ideas for more Skyrim playthroughs. I know that's not the greatest thing around. I would love more content to come out for Solar or another decent RPG to come out that I could sink my teeth into. I'm probably not going to do anything with Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I've mentioned on channel multiple times before why I'm not going to do that, so I won't bore everybody with that again.
I suppose the immediate threat is lessened. I will do as you ask. Let no one say Leowen did not do its part to uphold the Empire.
And I just realized that I really didn't repair enough when I was doing that. Oh, we weren't doing too bad, actually. Ah, man, those are Archer's gauntlets that I've got. I was going to check that, wasn't I? So I've just been given gauntlets of the Battle Mage, which gives me +8 alteration, +8 destruction, and +8 conjuration. No, I'd much rather my +8 archery. So I'll just sell those.
A pleasure to see you.
Ah, you missed my rants on why I won't play Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. It's purely down to why I didn't enjoy, or why I didn't finish, let me be clear, why I didn't finish Pathfinder Kingmaker. I certainly enjoyed parts of it, right? But Wrath of the Righteous is going to be very similar to Pathfinder Kingmaker, from what I understand, in that it's not just a plain old CRPG, right? So you in Wrath of the Righteous, where in Kingmaker, you played as a ruler eventually. So that's what did it for me. That's what I didn't like about the game. One part of the stuff I didn't like about the game was the fact that you are a ruler and you have to go through all of that stuff. You can put the kingdom into automatic mode with the newer versions of the game. You couldn't when it first came out. With the newer versions of the game you can, but it still changes the feel of the game a lot for me, right? So
have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you.
So that was just something I didn't really enjoy about the game. And the other part of the game that I didn't enjoy was the pacing, because there's that whole Arcane, that whole kingdom management thing there. The main quest line is really drawn out, and there are actually periods where you cannot do anything more on the main quest line 4 months of game time. And I dislike that a lot, because I much prefer to be able to choose myself. That's what I like about Oblivion and Skyrim type games, where the quest lines don't have time limits on them, and they don't have time pressures on them. Pathfinder Kingmaker had both. It had missions that had to be completed within a certain amount of time, and it also had missions that you could not do for a certain amount of time. And so if you wanted to just do a main questline run of Pathfinder Kingmaker, you're either going to be in a situation where you get through the first chapter and become the Baron, and then as soon as you get into the barony, you're going to be skipping time for months at a time and not doing anything, while your kingdom, if you're not running it on automatic, your kingdom would be crumbling around you, and you'd actually end up losing the game, is the thing. Because unless you've got your kingdom management on automatic, you can lose the game if your kingdom becomes too unhappy. And so there's just like no way to do a main quest only playthrough of Pathfinder Kingmaker. Like, you have to do side missions in between the main mission just to keep your kingdom happy with what's going on. There's no other way around it, right? And so I always felt that was a really bad thing. The other reason why I'm not going to play it, and I've said this before, it is incredibly petty of me, but okay, Stretch. Yes, that is a good idea, Walter, because I do get a bit tense when I'm on my rants. So the other reason I'm not doing it, and as I've said before, I know this is hugely petty of me, but I am not a massive streamer by any accounts. But the fact of the matter is, my YouTube channel got its start on... Like, it wasn't until I started streaming Pathfinder Kingmaker that my channel actually took off. And it would have been nice to get some acknowledgement of that from Owlcat Studios. Now, they wouldn't know me from a loaf of bread, right? But there's still this small petty part of me that says I created a couple of hundred videos for them that talked about their game and plugged how good it is and told people how to play it.
A pleasure to speak with you.
And I would have liked some acknowledgement of that if they could have just given me access to the early beta. You know, that would have been a nice thing. But it didn't happen. And as I said, parts of me knows that it wasn't going to happen anyway, because I'm such small fry as far as YouTube game content creators go. But the fact, if they had have sent me access to the early beta, I would have played the game a little bit, despite my obvious, I would have known that I would not have entirely enjoyed it, but I would have played it anyway, because it would have been good for my channel and it would have been good for them, and I would have done that, but it's not happening. So I haven't contacted them. I'm not going to contact them. But yeah, so that's pretty much the end rant there. I could have contacted them and said, I'm a gamer. I've produced a lot of videos for your other game. Can you get me on to the beta list? And they probably would have said yes. But the reason I didn't was because I never actually finished Pathfinder Kingmaker, because while I enjoyed some of the content,
Weapons. I have it all.
I know I would not enjoy this new content as well. Because actually, I don't think I made that clear. Thank you, Walter. I don't think I made it clear, but my understanding is that in the new game, it looks like the premise in the new game is a demonic invasion. And so your character will end up becoming the general of armies that fight off this demonic invasion. So you are going to be... So the hook, if you like, or the thing that's going to drag you away from the RPG side of things is not going to be kingdom management in this one. It's going to be army management, whether that is just, you know, hiring troops and training them and getting them ready, or whether it's actually also directing armies in battle. And I think it's probably going to be a bit of both.
I wish I could help. But with an Oblivion.
Yeah, okay. So
Take care.
So yeah, it mostly comes down to the fact that I just don't think I would enjoy the game. I have nothing wrong with, you know, I've played, you know, sort of
Good hunting.
army sort of games before where you've got, you know, hell, I wrote one. Oh my God, is it nearly 40 years ago? It is. Wow. We were talking my studies a while ago. When I did some of my studies, one of the things we had to produce was a project, a computer project. We had to build some sort of computer program to do something. And the project I chose was I made a game which I called Castle Combat, where you had your castle on one side of the screen and your opponent's castle on the other, which was computer controlled. You know, AI, not AI as we think of it these days, but I had some code controlling the opponents. And you had 5 units of troops, and you could pick from different types of troops. And then you would move them across the field, and your opponent would move in reaction. So it was turn-based movements. And then there was a system of, once you actually engaged an opponent, there were several different tactics that you could do in both defense and attack. And it looked at the types of troops that were facing each other. So if you had, you know, archers facing off against knights on horseback sort of thing, or whatever, it looks at those different unit types, and also their each unit type would have like a level. So your troops would, if they got through combat, they would go up a level, which meant that they were more powerful so that they could do better. So, you know, archers might start off being relatively weak against melee troops, but over time you could, as they leveled up, they would be much better at that sort of thing. Yeah, so I built this game. So I do have a little bit of experience, and I've played games like that as well. I haven't just built them. So it's not entirely new to me, and it's certainly not like a genre that I would say that I have absolutely no interest in. It's also not my favorite gaming genre. That's there's no doubt about that either. But yeah, generally speaking, the issue with the game is that if I'm playing an RPG, I want to play an RPG. I don't want to necessarily be, you know, commanding huge armies. Am I going to be able to rest here? Good. Let's rest there for the hour. Okay. Let's sneak on in if we can. See if we can do this Oblivion gate. The other thing I don't like about these Spider Daedra, it would be nice. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Because there's another bomb right there. And there's one right there. It would be and there's one right there. God damn it. It would be really nice with the Spider Daedra that if you were able to hit them. Oh, that. How did that kill me like that? Oh, it was a tower behind me. Damn it. It would be really nice with the Spider Daedra if you shot them, it would cancel their ability to summon their opponent, or their companion, I mean. So that you could do that to sort of stun them and stop them from summoning. Because that, frankly, is really annoying. But now that I know... Oh, it's not there now. Damn it. I came here all prepared to take out these various turrets. To take out the mines, I mean. And I was going to use them to help take out the Spider Daedra. And then the Spider Daedra's not here this time. I don't really want most of that. Little concerned, because let's do this. Is that going to make it any easier to see where the bombs are? I don't feel like it is. But there's another one right there. And there's another one down there. And then we got those two turrets there. But that gate is closed. Damn it, where do I have to go to get that gate open? I feel like I've got to go over that way to that tower. Because that's the only tower I can sort of get to. Oh, and then a storm Atronach. You're kidding me. Okay. Well, that... I was going to say that wasn't too hard, but the fact of the matter is that it was a little bit. Oh, good. I can wait an hour. Quick save. Now, the problem I've got is that all of these pieces of the broken Storm Atronach do actually look... Oh, God, there's a second one. I was going to say, they look vaguely like the landmines, and I've got a tower attacking me from behind, so I really cannot sit still. Where did he go? Did I? Oh, I knocked him back so much. And this thing, there's something weird going on when if I move too soon after I shoot, my arrow tends to strafe out of the way. a little bit and miss, just like that, when that should not have missed. So yeah, I'm concerned that I'm going to run into another mine that's on the ground, because it looks like a lot like pieces of Atronach just sitting there. Just trying to see if there's any openings I missed. Like, I didn't... There was no opening in that tower. There's no way that that tower... No, there won't be, because that tower's leaning too much. I won't be able to go into that tower because of the amount that it's leaning. You're a corpse. I think this is just the edge of the map over here. Yeah, there's just lava down there. So we've got to go over this bridge and head over this way. Yeah, I'm really not liking the spiders either. I mean, they're a challenge. Once you know what to do with them, you know, the best option, as I said, get in close. Hit them as hard as you can, as quickly as you can. I feel like going down this way. No, it's not worth it. Going down there for one little... see, that's where we've got to go. We've got to go through here. But going down there, all I was going to get is one little chest. Well, if you call it a chest, it's a pod. That's all I was going to get out of that. Oh, and then there's a little rock slide just to make your day as you're about to go through the door. Just a little... Here you go. We're going to screw you over. Yeah, well, I mean, it works that way with any creatures that summon in this game. The sooner you can kill them, the better off you are, because their summons disappear as soon as they die. That sword is worth picking up. So the best tactic to fight those spiders... Do I want to come out of here this soon? Where am I? I feel like this is probably a bit of a bad idea. The problem with going hand to hand with those guys is they really hurt when they hit you, and you're going to get hit by them when you get in close because they swing quickly as well. I don't know if I should be going out from here to do anything. I can't help it. I've got to loot that. Another Storm Atronach, and I missed him somehow. I feel like lightning's not the best thing to hit them with, because they are essentially lightning anyway. Surprised that tower wasn't hitting me. Right. Not entirely sure what this is. Okay, so that blood fountain's going to be useful. Oh my god, that's just junk, that one. Oh, look. Speak of the devil. No. That's what I meant to do. I did kill you? Good. Where'd he go? There was something just there. Let's hydrate. Yeah, good idea. Thank you, St. Salvius. Have a good day, St. Salvius. Cheers. I wanted to repair all of my stuff. Yeah, look, my gauntlets were completely gone. Did I search you after all that? I didn't. I knew there was another Storm Atronach down here. Wow, if you can get these guys at the right time so that they're not ready, you can get a couple of good hits in. Run, 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 dodge, jump, whatever you can to make sure you don't get hit by any more of those. Problem is, that didn't kill the first one, that knockback. So now, I have to run back towards the towers and potentially get shot like that in attempt to take on those guys. Whee! How about one more? How about another one? I can't rest there. Okay. I don't have enough magicka to heal. It's good enough for the moment. Let's take all of that. Let's take all of that and back this way. Oh, joy. Oh, come on, game. And then when the Storm Atronach is in that form, your arrows don't always damage it. Come on. Are you actually dead this time? You are. Oh man, this gate is really kicking my butt. Not impressed at all. Like, oh, yeah. That is good. Some gold is nice, but I don't know that I need any more magicka right now, but I could use some heals. Bet I can rest here now too, though. Okay, and quick save, so that we don't have to go through that again. I'm concerned I've gone the wrong way, is part of the problem here. Because, I don't know. Oh, God. Well, one guy flipped out and disappeared beyond the edge of the visibility. And they're running over some of the traps for me, which is nice. If I can get these guys from far enough away, they're not a major problem. But oh my god, there's just so many of them. And it doesn't feel right over here. It feels like I haven't necessarily gone in the right direction. Because we're back at the gate at the other side now. And unless there is another underground area, you know, another cave around here somewhere that I can go down into. Is that another damn spider Daedra up? Oh, hang on, is that anything, or is that just a weird rock? I was right. Oh, god damn it! Oh, and I'm getting attacked by the goddamn tower as well. Just screw you, game. Take all of that. I just don't necessarily feel like I'm going the right way. Having said that, whoop, that's not the right way. But this very well might be. Nope, this is not the right way. This is a side tower. This is not the main one. I'm going to do a stretch whether anyone wants me to or not, because this is getting really quite, oh, yeah, of course. We knew that was going to happen. I feel like I've got to go all the way up in case there's a switch at the top that opens up the gates, because that's what I've been waiting for all this time, is some way to open up the main gate. And of course there's a storm Atronach. Come on, one more good hit. Maybe two. Was that enough? Yes, it was. Brilliant. This, I think, is a gate control. Yes, we opened a gate. Might as well use that as well. Okay. So hopefully, quick save, hopefully the door down here at the sub-level, this one here, takes me out to that gate. No, of course it doesn't. Where's the lever? Stand in the middle so you can't get done by spikes. But might as well just do that. And that's even safer. Let's do a full save, why not? I think I much prefer going back this way and finding the gate, you know? Finding the, yeah, the gate that wasn't open, which now is, which is right there. This feels a much safer way to do it. I just have to dodge all of the traps and such forth. Thought I heard a Daedra saying something. Oh yeah, it's probably just... Oh, how did I miss that? That guy. Steve Martin joke. Check. Beautiful. Then we got this guy. That's a really annoying little juke that you're doing there. God damn it! There you go. Blow him off the edge. See if I care. Daedra Broadhead or Dremora Broadhead arrows. Actually not bad. The amount of damage they're doing. Could be much worse. So no door there. Oh, great, more. Let's ping you. One more. Got you. Just quick save. Oh, Spider Dremora. And then it moved. whatever reason, it's outdistanced its little spiderling, which is great because I can kill it then and don't have to worry about the spiderling at all. I don't think that was enough to kill him. It just knocked him back. So even though this is going to be problematic because... Okay. I was going to say I'm going to... No, I told you it didn't kill him. And I didn't want to get caught. Put another one into him just in case. I didn't want to get caught with him coming up behind me in here. Can I rest? No, I didn't think I could. Because we've got a Daedroth down there and there's another one over there. Thankfully, they can't see me at the moment. Which means if I sneak in, they'll never know I'm here. But I don't want to use any potions. Actually, I'm going to take a break for a sec. Hang on, I'll be right back. damn it, the mic didn't unmute. Okay, so we're waiting for Magicka to come back. Little annoyed that a Greater Soul wasn't enough to recharge my Frosty Bow. Okay. Storm Atronach. At least I'm not seeing any spider, but I'd love to be able to kill that guy in one hit. I doubt it's going to happen. But if I can get that second... Okay. That's those two out of the way without having to worry. So now there's just the Storm Atronach out there. That's being a bit of a bastard. Thankfully he doesn't see me yet. So let's punch that into his guts. There we go, another good shot, and that should be it. Wonderful. When I'm sneaking, it works well. When I can get that sneak going is the big thing. Okay, blood fountain here. Mana fountains out here. And then we had doors there. Let's just get... I'll take those claws because they're worth a lot. They don't weigh much. Thank you, BM. Need to be sneaking. Always need to be sneaking. What are we looking at? Storm Atronach. Dremora. Can I get you first? Wow, and the Storm Atronach almost got killed by its own trap. Let's grab those, that, and that. Oh, another Daedra amongst all, or Dremora amongst all of that. Okay. Let's get the Void Salts. Not sure I can see where all these bodies are, so just do that. What does that scroll of spell shedding do? Let's read that because we can. Soul Trap. Oh, Dispel on Self. Yeah, no, don't need that. And I've already searched you. So both of those traps have been done, so I don't have to worry about them anymore. Unless there is more this way. No, no traps there. So we just want to head back up here. Quick save. Yeah, a bit of healing would probably be a good idea too. There we go. And I realise that I am forgetting to use my summons yet again, which would probably help me a lot. Wow, I managed to kill him in one go. Technically, I could get down to that other guy over that side. I don't think I want to. Look, I've already started going this way. I might as well finish it. Take that, we'll take that, we'll take those, we'll take that, we'll take that, we'll take that. Okay. I am spamming the quick saves today because, yeah, not as easy as it could be, but certainly not impossible, which is good because, you know, what level am I at now? 19? Yeah, I never got that far on my last playthrough, and I don't think I would have been able to. Draw a long sword. Just another Dremora longsword, some more arrows. Probably should heal a touch more. And how about repairing a little bit as well. God damn it, that's the only problem I have. Okay. So annoying when you mistakenly hit your summons and he goes nuts at you. Okay, door there, corridor down there. Either of these doors will do us good. The Flesh Spire sounds, yeah, terrible is what it sounds. Okay. Let's go through here as quick as we can, because that way our little meat shield comes with us, at least for a little while. Hello up there, and I missed. Boom. Boom. Oh, you moved. Right. Is that someone else shooting at me? Feels like it. Oh, it's a tower. How very nice. Nothing I like more than getting shot at by a tower. And another Storm Atronach. Oh, well, that's just... in front of another tower. Come around here, big boy. Ooh. Where are you? I can just see a fraction of you over there, but I can't hit it. How about that? And then that. And then one more. And technically I can wait there, so I shall. No more sneak. We'll really quickly grab those void salts. Do a sneaky little jump. Get through here as quickly as possible. And I feel like I want to save again. Never have too many quick saves. Okay. So, some clan fears. You bastard. I can't... I cannot get close enough to attack. Oh, there's only about a dozen of them? Whoa. How about a little bit of healing there? Oh, I'm still goddamn sneaking. Sorry about that. There are times when sneaking doesn't help. And that was one of them. Okay. Let's do this. Come on, guys. Get in there. Teach these guys what? Well, what for, I suppose, is the way of saying it, isn't it? Okay, that was a much better way of handling these guys. It's just the one body there and the one body there. And that there. Where do we need to go? Where do we need to go? There's no... Oh, there. I'm going to jinx myself now by saying the one thing I haven't seen much of lately is Spider Dremora. Penance of Pride. No, it's too heavy. Not taking it. Well, not worth it. Doesn't. It's not worth 10 times what it weighs, so we won't take it. Hang on. No. Okay, so there is someone else around here because it will not let me rest. We will quick save and then we will get ready. It's just you. And we have some sort of weird levitating sword. Very nice. Quick save through the door. Right, so we are very close to ending this, which is good. Feels weird to come at this from this side, so I'm going to do my normal right-hand side approach, because we know that whenever I go left-hand side approach, things go horribly wrong, and I end up dying horrible deaths. What did I say? I said, where were the spider Daedra? There were the spider Daedra. Where's the other one? How did that miss? I am really not doing too well at the moment. I'm missing things that should be very simple. Did we actually kill both of the spider Dramoras, or is there another one waiting over here to keep attacking me? Because there were two of them over there. There's the other one. We did kill it. Beautiful. Excuse me. And let's just be the loot fiend that we are. Bow of Shocks 5. Let's have a look at what that is compared to what we've already got. So my Frosty does 25 points of damage, and we're doing 13 points of damage per hit. That Bow of Shocks is doing 12 points of damage, and it does 15 points, so it's nowhere near as good as Frosty. Although Frosty has no charges left. Let's just take the other one for the moment. And let's just repair everything, because we know we should do that. And I don't think there's going to be anything else up here, because we did have a Dramora that attacked, and I think it was the one that was guarding up here. Yes, I'm not seeing any sign of any others. No goodie bag up here. Normally there's a chest type thing right there. Just a quick save just in case something goes wrong. And we have done that one. Close the Oblivion gate outside Breville, which is of course a very good thing. Yeah, I want to come over here by the looks of it. Oh, you little bastard. You know what? Getting a couple of summons going works really well against the Spider Dremora as well. So that's good to know. Okay, that is leading into Breville. I wasn't sure that it did. I don't remember seeing a gate like this into Breville, and I was starting to worry that it was leading it into some sort of bandit camp outside of Breville. I don't remember that being there. That's incredibly weird. It is 5:55 p.m. Beautiful. I got a chance to sell a couple of things before I go into the castle.
We all have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you.
Large backpack would be nice, rather than all these tiny ones that people just seem to love. I'm going to sell those, because I'm not going to use them.
You've made a good bit of gold.
We're definitely selling that, and of course we're selling that, and that. We're selling the mithril.
That's it. You drop.
We don't want mule. We don't want Nordskin.
You gotta. An excellent buy.
Okay, Clanfear, Claws, Daedra Hearts,
You've made a good.
Daedra Silk.
You've made a.
What is Venin? Surely it's not supposed to be Venom, so Venin must be something I've never heard of before. Void Salts. We already read that, and we just don't want any of these. And Leash, and Frozen Grip, Psychic Dagger. What does Psychic Dagger do? Just damages health. Okay. Unlatch.
That's more.
No. Just those. Okay, you don't have any potions that I want, because I sold all of those to you. Soul Gems. I'll take that one.
Pleasure doing business with you.
And I'll take those 3, because I need to recharge my
Come back and see me.
bows. I'm going to keep both of those bows that I've currently got, because we do have a couple more wow, that feels like it did almost nothing. Yeah, we do have a couple more Oblivion gates we're going to have to close. Very small part of me wants to do something else. Because it's getting really... having to close this many Oblivion gates, just one after the other. It would be alright if I had to split this up amongst, like, Mage Guild or Fighter Guild quests. Just looking for anybody in here who will recharge.
May I interest you in some of my fine wares?
You're the one who's got that ridiculously high explode enemies spell, which I don't have enough magicka for, so no.
Knowledge is the key to success in any endeavor. Goodbye.
It's my pleasure.
Surely there's somebody. No?
Something I can do for you?
Well, I'm looking...
I don't suppose.
Yeah, I know you want me to rescue Hannah, but I hated that mission, so I'm not taking it. I just want someone who can recharge
Have a look around. You won't find better prices in all Tamriel.
I'm going to take all of those, even though they're low level. And I'll take those, even though they're low level. And then what have you got? You've got a greater soul in there. Petty souls don't seem like they're much good. We'll take a greater soul from there.
Tell your friends about me.
Why?
Heard any news from the other provinces?
Okay, so
I've heard
I thought I fixed all of the
Morrowind, they say the man
texture
god
problems,
has
but
gone-
obviously not. Wrong one. That one. Soul Gem. Okay, so Frosty's back at full. Let's switch to Frosty for the time being, because Frosty's going to do a little bit more damage than the Bow of Shocks. We do need to still go... No? Well, it does say I should speak to the Count about sending aid to Breville. So, not Breville, Bruma. And even though I have 400 odd, nearly 500 elven arrows, I do feel like
Good to see you.
maybe... Do I have to wait all goddamn night for this guy to come back? Looks like I do. I'm going to quickly go out to the archery place. See if he's got any... Well, ultimately glass arrows would be
My
nice.
pleasure, really.
But I'll take more elvens just to be safe. Because you know me, I always feel like I don't have enough arrows. Oh, and they're closed. But of course they are. Easiest solution. Let's find a bed for the night at the Fighters Guild.
Hello there.
I hope I can fix whatever. Go hurt something.
Yes, Master. You need me? I hope I can help. Go hurt someone.
Yeah, at least the Oblivion gate outside the city is gone. Go to it. Greetings, Breton.
Any news?
Or a vassal Thralis has a way with words. I wish you could teach me how to speak that way.
Can I just take one of these beds for the night? And let's just get 10 hours. Yeah, I think the less said about that, the better. Still 5 AM.
It's my... What can I interest you in?
Like, what's it going to take? Like, seriously, what is it going to take to get some new types of arrows available? Because it just feels like I'm not getting...
You drive a hard bargain.
I haven't seen a glass bow yet, or a Daedric bow. I haven't seen Daedric arrows. I've seen a handful, like literally 10 or less glass arrows, and I'm at level
Another satisfied
19. The other thing I'm interested in is how far am I in archery? I'm at 78. So technically that means I'm at level 70 archery, because I've got a +8 from the gauntlets that I'm wearing. Which means I'm only... Is it 75 where you become master? Or is 100 master? I can never remember. Let's go and have a look. Skills. Marksman, which has now been renamed to Archery. So 75 is probably Expert then, is it? And 100 is Master. Expert, you get a chance to knock down your opponents. I'm already doing that. So hang on, where does it... Okay, so 25 is apprentice, so you start as novice, 25 is apprentice, 50 is journeyman, 75 is expert. Okay, so I'm already knocking down opponents. That must be something to do with the arcane archery stuff that I've got. Because I've been doing it for quite a while. There's no way from here into the castle, so we've got to go all the way around. Rightio. Very disappointing that they don't have any decent arrows there. And I think he's the only weaponsmith in the place, because you're just a general trader, so... Ah, Breville, you're a bit of a pain in the butt at times.
Well met. How are you? I hope I can... Thank you for closing the Oblivion gate that was threatening Breville. I will send my guard captain, Viera Laris, to Bruma's aid.
Wonderful.
Take care.
Okay, so... what am I thinking of? That's a good question. We've done Leyawiin. We've done Breville. Imperial City won't give us anything. We've done Skingrad. Kvatch we've done. Well, we didn't actually have to do anything there. Anvil we've done. So all we have left is Coral and Shadenhall. But, like I said, I really want more arrows. And I want some better arrows. So I'm going to go on a little shopping spree and just see if any of the stores are stocking any better arrows. I will just check in here to see if there's any interesting armor.
Yes? I offer the finest goods and lowest prices in all Cyrodiil.
Yeah, there's not any interesting armor.
Good
Like,
day.
you've never had elven armor at all. And I see so few elven pieces. And I don't recall if there is glass armor, but I would have thought there was.
Good day. Let's do business.
You've got 100 elven arrows. I mean, I know I'm being dramatic by saying that I think I need more arrows when I've got 469 of them.
A pleasure to see.
But I do sort of feel like I do
Okay.
need more. Now that I've done that, though, when I go over to a fighting chance, they'll have like 200 glass or Daedric arrows ready to go, and I will curse and swear. Let's just make a quick look here at this guy.
What kind of deal? Have a look around. You won't find better prices in all Tamriel.
That's a pretty big claim. You're not even just saying in Cyrodiil. You're saying in
Goodbye.
all of
Please
Tamriel.
come here.
I'm sure that if you ever have children and you train one of them up to run your shop, they will probably make the claim that they won't give you no one will give, or you'll give them the best price. They will give everybody the best price on Nirn because you're
A
anyway.
pleasure to speak. What can I interest you in?
More elven arrows. I'm not buying those.
Goodbye.
These guys never have much good stuff. In fact, I know they won't. But
I offer the finest goods and the lowest prices in all Cyrodiil.
see, she's only making the claim in Cyrodiil.
Fare
You
thee
got to
well.
up your game. That Bosmer over there is saying that he's got the best prices in Tamriel. I got to say, he's definitely got a better range than she does. She is terrible.
What can I interest you in?
Nothing.
Farewell.
What about your
Truly?
brother?
Let's do business.
You got more elven. Usurp blunt. Okay.
Farewell.
So, do I want to go? Part of me wants to go and check out some of the other cities. Not Skingrad. I hate Skingrad. And Anvil's almost as bad. Let's just go to Shaden Hall and get this out of the way. So we'll do a quick tour of the markets. It'll be middle of the night. We'll have to rest. So we'll probably just hit the Fighters Guild. Oh, it's only 4:59 p.m. Well, that's not too bad then. That's right. I hate the architecture in Shaden Hall because it's impossible to tell what's a door, what is a door, and what is a wall.
What?
I almost said what is a door.
Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's not. There's just not anything to suit me.
Good day.
Okay, at least you're being civil these days. I mean, I have used you a lot as a merchant. I have sold a lot of stuff to you. I don't know that I've bought much from you, though. Okay, how about the March Riders?
It's my pleasure. Have a look around. You
More
won't find
elven
better prices in
arrows.
all Tamriel.
Short Sword of Ice 2. Mithril gear. Nothing else.
Be seeing you.
No, this way's out. We might as well... Yeah, it's up the hill here. We might as well head up.
Greetings to you.
Actually, that's something we haven't seen in a while. There hasn't been a Mystic Dawn attack when I've been in towns. Not that I've been in towns all that much recently. But I haven't had any more... haven't had any more sleeper attacks.
Yes?
I don't have time to chat right now. My first responsibility is to the people of Cheydinhal. They look to me for protection in these dark times. With an open Oblivion gate just outside our...
Well. So that's an original quest. I have to find and close an Oblivion gate outside the walls. What do we got? All the way over that way. So we might as well just fast travel out to the Knights of the Thorn Lodge, and it's going to be right there. Like, right there. Oh, did my bloody troll go nuts? There we go. Void salts. Let's go. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know what that means, but it's interesting. I'm not sure which way I'm supposed to be going. How did that miss? There we go. That might actually be a summon. That... because there was a, there was some sort of Dremora spellcaster down here a minute ago. I'm positive of it. But no, it can't have been a summons, because if it was a summons, it would have disintegrated into the ash pile. What the hell? Some sort of bad texture there. I do feel like this is the way I'm supposed to go, though. That texture is freaking me out. Keeping an eye out for potential doors on the way, as well as towers and traps and spider Dremora. There we go. So that's working even better, using those guys to fight back. I still feel like I'm supposed to be making my way down somehow, and I don't feel like going over this way is quite it. But maybe it is? Or maybe I should have gone through there and gone down that way. Because this just feels like it's going back to where I started. Although maybe coming down this way isn't too bad. Although maybe it is. And I'm just being silly. Can I get back up here? Yeah, I think I need to. Okay. The bowels. Okay. I don't know what that sound is that I'm hearing down there, but there is something down there making a disgusting squishing noise. I'm assuming it was down here. Okay. Ooh, zap, zap, zap from the Storm Atronach. Little misfire, Atronach. Why are you not helping? Fat lot of good you were doing. Yeah, I can afford to carry that. It's very good money. Beautiful. Another fallen knight of the Thorn. We got void salts. What's in there? Nothing that I really want. Okay. Did we not? Must have been one that slid down the mountain after I killed it. Wasn't even really paying attention there. Go. Got another dead knight. Oh, there's the door. I was going to say, where do I go from here? Can I rest? Beautiful. And then we're going to summon you, and then immediately head through the door. That reminds me. Very good. What have you got? So we got to jump through the hole again. Quick save. Finished already. No, you haven't. Oh, God. Damn it. Alright, so there were multiples. Okay, so we got that. There's another hole we can drop down there if we have to. Which we may have to. Let's quick save. I don't want it. No, that's not what I wanted. Let's leave that on that. Let's leave that on that. What's this way? Because I don't know if I saw what was around this way. Oh. Beautiful. Okay, so combination of my Arcane Archery in a couple of summons is doing a world of good. And that's lava, so we don't want to go down there. Okay, let's quick save out through the door.
I suppose you'll do. It's about time someone got here. What took you so long?
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm shocked you don't know. My name is Farwill Indorus, son of Count Andel Indorus of Cheydinhal. The wounded one is Bremen Senyen. We are members of the Knights of the Thorn. We've sworn to protect Cheydinhal from any threat, and we've entered this Oblivion Gate to do just that.
Okay.
We are knights sworn to uphold the laws of Cheydinhal. We fear no being, and we strike fast and true as lightning. Many wish to join our ranks, as we are of the highest echelon. Only a select few may join the finest force ever to grace the lands of Cyrodiil. Until now, we numbered only 7, but attacked like a regiment. Our enemies quake at our approach and falter at our charge. Huzzah!
Okay. So, you're called the Knights of the Thorn, and yet you strike like lightning. You might want to consider changing either your name or that little catchphrase.
I set out with the rest of the knights to dispatch this blemish on the face of our fine world. When we arrived, we were overwhelmed. I myself was able to kill perhaps 2 of them, but they just kept coming. Only Bremen and I remain alive. However, with you here now, we can take the sigil stone from that citadel and complete our quest for the good of all Cheydinhal. Huzzah!
Huzzah! That means I've got to keep these 2 numbskulls
Are you
alive.
mad? A Knight of the Thorn never returns home until the mission is done. It's our way. Now, in my father's name, as Count Indorus of Cheydinhal, I order you to lead me to that sigil stone. I suggest we use the Raymond Sweep formation. You'll assault, and we'll guard the rear flank. Onward and upward! Huzzah! The path is yours. Lead on.
Very good question. So first of all, let's just repair. Second of all, see what we can do to keep Frosty as good as possible. Now let's have a look. We're here. I don't feel like that is the way we need to go. I feel like this is. No, actually. I feel this is the way we need to go. Steel bow. Steel claymore. I don't care about the scamps. Please go cartwheeling when I hit you. Boom! Wonderful. Let me grab that staff. How about you? Are you gonna go? No, but I did kill you. Retribution of Hypocrisy. That is very heavy, but technically it's worth 10 times what it weighs, so we'll take it. Dremora barbed arrows. I don't want the Dremora heavy bow because it's ridiculously heavy, as is the mace and armor and such forth. Another staff. That's a standard Dremora mace. That's not worth it. Those are... what have you got on you? More broadheads and one elven arrow. Gold nugget. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to keep these idiots alive. Let's get my standard summons out, and then let's try and take out that guy. Actually... oh, I thought it was dead already, but it obviously wasn't. Okay, what do we got? Oh, that's worth it. Ring of Nord skin, I'll take that. We get more void salts from that. Okay, so what do we got? No side corridors. We got a door there. And a door there. I don't know, I have a thing for the right side. Sorry about that. Emergency mute. I always tend to go up the right side of the building, so let's stick to that.
That's the best you can do?
Oh. Well, I let them take it that time. I could have summoned something to help, but see how we go up here. So this is a room, so let's get our summons in there. Oh, yes, there is. And we get him with one shot. So we'll get some magicka back. Oops, didn't want that. Let's put that away, because that's just going to be ridiculously heavy for no real gain. Okay. Through the door we go. Okay, why is nobody going to attack this idiot? Boom, very good. Was there anyone around that side? There was not. So, we have a bit of a problem at the moment. Let me just have a look at what scrolls I've got. I have noticed that Night Eye, fire damage, turn undead, psychic dagger, psychic spear, rage whisper, slow poison. Your health isn't great. Yours is better.
Die, care!
What happened to the other guy? He's right there. Elven Arrow, Daedra Heart, Cure Poison. Yeah, these guys' health isn't great. Can we wait for an hour? Will that get their health back as well? It did. Beautiful. that's what we needed to do. Let's get a summon ready. So this goes door to Corridor of Dark Salvation. But here's the thing. The ramp over this side goes way higher. It goes up 2 levels. Now, if I don't have to go... You know, if there's no reason to go an extra level, does this go to the Corridor of Dark Salvation as well, or it goes somewhere else? It does. Let's just see if that's better.
I fought mud. I'm on your side.
Yeah, I know you are. What do we got? Okay, just the Daedroth left. Looking for that. Oh no, there was another Dremora over there as well. Okay. You're not doing great, but you're both gonna live. Let's just put it that way. You're not on the verge of death. I don't need to use the blood fountain. So what do we got? We got a door over here. Does it say where this goes? No, but once we open it, this goes up. I feel like up is the sort of direction we want to go in. But let's be cautious about it. Get some companions to come with us. And then let's get an arrow ready. And after all that, we didn't need to. But door to the Chaos Stronghold, but there's also more stairs leading up. Citadel Hall door. Dremora, dead. Where do you go? Door to the Chaos Stronghold. I got a funny feeling, though, that I'm going to regret having skipped some of these levels at some point. You're a little bit injured. Let's wait for an hour, because there were traps here that we didn't notice. Okay. Come through this door. And hearing that the condition of my armor affects
What's the matter?
how good it is reminds me that I need to repair. Where are you? There's somebody up there who summoned that.
I'm just warming up, you pathetic.
No, penance of larceny we're going to leave behind. Yeah, you guys are doing alright. Retribution of hypocrisy. Can't carry it, it's too heavy. Technically it would be worth it though. Door to Siligan Sagwinus, or however you pronounce that. Let's continue up the right side though, because that's the way we go. Oh. Okay, no, normally I don't go that way. I go the other way. Let's get our summons out. And we'll come up the right side, because the right side is the right side. If we don't take the right side, things go horribly wrong. And they're already going horribly wrong because we've got those little buggers. Oh, you ran right past me without even recognizing that I was there. Damn it. Is there anything else? Oh, just you. Ooh, you're in a bad way. Okay, but we are almost done with this. We can just wait here. All right. Okay. That must mean that there's nothing else here to kill. Yes, I searched him. Let's see what's in here. Anti-venom. More soul gems. Feel like a combination of these guys helping out and using my summons much more effectively has meant that this gate has felt so much easier than the last few.
We made it! I mean, victory is ours once again. Huzzah! You've done well. I wouldn't have expected such bravery from someone who isn't a Knight of the Thorn. Now that this battle between good and evil has been won, and the day is ours, you should go speak with my father. He will reward you greatly for escorting me home and closing the Oblivion Gate. Since you have led us to victory, I am hereby giving you the honorary title of a Knight of the Thorn. Your name shall be revered, and your deeds placed into song, to be performed by the greatest bards for generations to come. Congratulations.
It was nothing.
Make sure you address the Count properly.
Thanks to you, Cheydinhal is safe.
Okay. We need to repair. And we don't have any soul gems with charges in them. What does that give me? Frost damage or water walking. Disintegrate armor or shield. Shock damage, night eye. Permanent night eye might be interesting. Which direction? Might as well just fast travel back to Castle Cheydinhal. I was just going to ask you all, chat, whether you say castle or castle. But of course, you can't tell me by just typing it in chat, because... yeah, that would be a silly thing to ask people.
Greetings to you.
I'm pleased to finally meet the savior of Cheydinhal. I'm also overjoyed that you saved my son's life. I realize he's trying at times, and he speaks before he thinks. But he's still my son, and I adore him greatly. I'm sure he was difficult to travel with, and I respect your patience. Most would have given him up for dead, rather than deal with his ego. Anyway, I digress. I'm sure you wish to hear of your reward. I'm in possession of 2 fine weapons. They're both heirlooms of the Indaris family, held in the castle for several generations. I'd take great pleasure in bestowing one of them upon you. Please, choose the Thornblade or the Staff of Indaris.
I don't really want either, but I have no blade skill at all, so...
The Staff of Indaris it is. Again, I thank you on behalf of all the citizens of Cheydinhal, and I especially thank you as an elated father. Farewell, and may Arcane guide you. I will not forget your service to me and to Cheydinhal. Rescuing my son from the Oblivion Gate was a daring feat. With the Oblivion Gate closed, I can now gladly send aid to Bruma.
Very good.
Day.
So, Staff of Indorus. Damage strength, and it does shock damage 50 points. That's interesting. It's only got 30 uses on it though. Don't tell him, chat, but I'm probably going to just sell it. Speaking of selling, I don't like it when the game starts like that. It feels like it's going to crash. Speaking of selling, let's go into the town and sell a few things. Did we just get another level? No, but we are really close to level 20. That's the Marsh Riders. Let's go.
Thank you for closing. Let's do business.
Okay, you got more elven arrows, but I feel like at 515 I'm doing pretty good. So let's get rid of those. And those. Get rid of these. Yeah, we'll just get rid of it. It's exactly what I would have done with the sword as well, to be honest, because got no use for it.
You've made a good... That's more.
No. Right. I didn't actually get a chance to have a good look at what you had. But I was pretty sure it's not going to be much good because no one has anything much good at the moment. And I was correct. So, go out and we'll go to the general merchant and sell a few other things.
Cheydinhal sleeps more soundly tonight, thanks. What can I interest you in?
Nothing. I'm sort of tempted just to sell that. Yeah, let's do it. I'm not really using it.
You an excellent bargain. You've made... That's more... You... That seems a... That's a... You got a fun... You've made... A fine transaction. Bye.
Much nicer to me now that I've saved her little town. So, all we have left to do... Hang on. Do I have anything left to do? Breville, Leowin, done. Skingrad, Kvatch, Anvil, done. Shadenhall, Imperial City. We do still have to do Coral. Okay. There's not going to be much of any real use here. Coral seems to have pretty poor selection like most other places. But let's have a look.
Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you. Goodbye.
Try to remember if the Mages Guild here has someone who can enchant, who can charge up my bow and make sure it's tip-top condition, ready to go.
You told her. What do you want, you rat?
Oh.
Pay attention, and you can learn. Go bother someone else.
I hope I can.
I don't know.
You too.
Hello, guildmate.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, I understand why she's doing that. I don't understand why she's in the Mages Guild. Didn't realize she was a mage. Okay, let's grab... This seems ridiculous just to be grabbing all these potions, but now that they only weigh such a small amount, I'm going to buy all of those charging. I don't think I'm going to buy all of the healing, though. Actually, I'm not going to buy any more healing now that I think about it. I feel like I'm happy with that. Let's not buy any... He sells seashells by the... No, he doesn't. He is selling soul gems.
Only quality goods for sale here. What can I interest you in?
Nothing.
I'm willing to teach. Good day.
Is there... I just want someone who'll recharge for me, but it doesn't look like there's anybody around who can. So annoying. So... no, where's the door? Over here. Where is he?
Well met. Excuse me.
You are selling soul gems. Let's see if we can find some nice, big, fat, charged soul gems. Let's take that one. Let's take that one.
A bargain at any price.
And that one. That one.
You
That
drive
one.
a hard bargain.
Those three. That's probably going to be it. Most of the rest of those are too small. I'm basically just looking at the prices. And if the prices seem high, they've probably got a decent soul in them. Well, Quill... Okay, so what is up with that? Quill Weave is one of the early...
Archmage Travern was right to ban necromancy from the guild. Look at what they've done.
She's left now. But yeah, what was she doing in here, I don't know. But she is the one that was trying to lure the rats out of the basement of the house here that you had to do a mission for the Fighters Guild about. One of the very first Fighters Guild missions that you have to do. And I told the owner that it was her that did it. And so that's why Quillweave, that's her there, is not happy with me, because I told on her. She asked me not to tell on her. She said she was going to give me training in acrobatics if I did. If I didn't tell on her, basically, she would give me trainings in acrobatics. And so that's why she's unhappy with me. What I didn't understand was why she was in the Mages Guild in the first place. But she's going off and sulking around the back of the houses at the moment. Okay, let's just... Okay, so we're all charged up. These don't weigh much, so I'm not going to bother putting them away, but I'm also not going to do the last mission here tonight. Yeah, we'll go and... I won't even go and talk to the Count. We're going to leave it here. So we might as well just stand over here and do a full save, and then I say thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. Oh, okay, so she's just a... She makes casual visits sometimes. G'day, Arbiter. Sorry to say, I'm calling it now, though. So yeah, happy with how this is going. Bit of Conjuration along with my Arcane Archery works wonders for taking out Oblivion gates. And yes, I hope you will all join me for the next one. We have one more Oblivion gate to do, and then we're back to the main quest. And the main quest, as far as I know, is just the big gate in Bruma that we have to do, and a couple of little things afterwards, and I believe that might be it. So I haven't really looked too far ahead into the missions. I've deliberately not looked at things, so I don't have this knowledge of where we're going and what we're doing, to try and keep it fresh and interesting for me. But I do believe there's not too much more after we do the big main gate. That's the next thing in Bruma. So it'll be the Shaden Hall gate, then we'll go back to Bruma. We'll do that, and we'll see how much more we've got to go. But I don't think it'll be much more than maybe the next stream, maybe one more after that to finish everything here. I'm really looking forward to it, because one more game that I will have gotten through the main quest line on. So thank you again, and I will catch you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.
I understand Daedra worship has become increasingly prevalent.